at the movies with Tim Sika. Welcome aboard, Tim Sika.
Thank you, Kim. I am, as I would say, I am just as excited as you are to be on your show today.
Oh, really? I
Yes, I
love
think
this.
I am.
Woo!
Yeah,
Well,
woo.
I love the enthusiasm. You have so many good movies to talk about. The first one is called Nuremberg, and here it is, this very serious topic. What'd you think of the movie, my friend?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, this is an historical post World War II drama. It's based on the book, The Nazi and the Psychiatrist, which I just finished reading. Actually, I
Oh,
finished reading it before I saw the movie because I wanted to see how the adaptation fared.
how
It's
was how
about
was the how was the book? Did you like it?
Yeah, the book was
Whoa.
terrific. Yeah,
Okay.
and what the book was about, and similarly what the movie is about, it's this military psychiatrist. His name is Douglas Kelly, real life guy, played by Rami Malek in this movie. He's tasked with the assignment of determining whether or not the 22 remaining Nazi officials, chief among them Hitler's second in command, Hermann Goering, played by
Mhm.
Russell Crowe, are fit to stand trial at what were to become known as the Nuremberg trials, which were held by the Allies in November of 1945 against the leaders of the defeated Nazi army. So his job was to go in there and and determine whether or not these people were sane according to, psychological tenets and precepts and stuff. And he determined, yeah, these people were sane. They knew what they were doing. And yeah, you asked me if I liked it. This is a perfectly good, straightforward telling of that tale with a movie style that is sort of subservient to content, top of the line performances, solid craftsmanship. And so for the most part, without any flashy cinematic trappings, this movie does a decent job of telling this post World War II story. But as I mentioned earlier, having read the book, I personally have some objections to this particular film adaptation, which at times I felt leaned a little too much on dramatic kind of corniness and on the nose preachiness. I don't think they needed to do that. But Kim, I guess bottom line with the assault on American democracy pervading the country at the present time, this film in particular, and its message are particularly relevant, and therefore, whatever reservations I personally have about it, I think it is definitely worth checking out. It's movie catnip too for lovers of history and
Mhm.
courtroom and political dramas. So I recommend it. It's good. It's good. It's just I've seen just about every Nazi courtroom drama in the book, and so I can't help but think God, Judgment at Nuremberg. There's a way so much better. But this adds to the canon of Nazi/Holocaust films because it does approach that from a different perspective, which is like the determination of whether these Nazi leaders were depraved perverts, and that's and they weren't. At least psychologically, they knew what they were doing, and therefore the Allies, led by the U.S., knew that they had a case because it was with the Nuremberg trials were the first time that a country was prosecuted that never really fired, dropped a bomb on us or instigated us into war. It was the Japanese and Pearl Harbor,
Mhm.
that got us into the Second World War. So
Sure.
it was a very, very, very unique situation. And that's one of the things the movie does pretty well. I have to admit, it goes into that and how strategic and difficult and almost in the beginning the prosecuting attorney, the main prosecuting attorney, is played by God. I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember the famous actor. Was told no, this is impossible. It's never been done in history. There's no way you can even bring charges against these people. They're already defeated. We've won the war. Let's move on. So that's an interesting aspect. So it's a good movie, and I recommend it. That's a long way of me coming
Yeah, that's
to
good.
say it
Okay.
is a good movie. Check it out. Yeah.
The next one is called Die My Love with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. When I learned that the director of Die My Love was Scottish filmmaker Lynn Ramsay, who's a very great director, by the way, I kind of went, oh, gee, here we go. She's a filmmaker whose movies are very often painful, to watch because they're very dark and they're filled with pain.
Mhm.
And this movie, Die My Love, while possibly her most accessible film, is no exception. And in it, Jennifer Lawrence. Do we have a poster? I don't know if we have a
Oh, I'm
poster.
sorry. We do
No,
have a
that's okay.
poster. I was just paying attention to you and not
I
doing my
see.
job over here.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Obviously, what I was. No, I'm teasing. Anyway, okay. So in it, Jennifer Lawrence, who's in the boy, that picture on the poster epitomizes this movie. She plays a young mother who develops postpartum depression after the birth of her son, alongside her husband, played by Robert Pattinson, who's experiencing his own problems, and she basically descends into psychosis.
Mm.
So, you know, this may not be a movie for everybody, but if the subject matter intrigues you, it is a very good movie. It's an unsettling one. Again, just overflowing in pain and suffering with very fine performances. Jennifer Lawrence is amazing in this movie. She's also very naked. I thought I would bring that up. The script is solid. The direction is solid. I like the film because there was a lot of literal and figurative symbolism in the movie, which works really well against the realism of the script. And at the end of the day, it's really a hard thing to pull off cinematically. And they do that here without it seeming pretentious, without it like advertising itself, and without like, shoving it in your face. Now, a dog is killed in the movie, which I always like to bring to people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
You see it coming, but that nevertheless it fails to lessen its impact when it comes. It's really an awful scene. So folks are very sensitive to that kind of thing on screen. Beware. Yeah, definitely not a happy movie, but an undeniably good one nevertheless. So I recommend it with those reservations, which I pointed out. If the subject matter doesn't seem like, if you don't enjoy watching, people descend in psychosis and act crazy, especially when there are babies involved,
Yeah.
and animals, you may want to look the other way. But it is a very good movie. I mean, I couldn't find one wrong note in it in terms of what it was attempting to do. So
When you say she's naked, do you mean like during the whole childbirth process? And
no, there are a lot of sex scenes in the movie. That's what, yeah.
Okay.
And the only reason I brought that up is because she's been bringing it up over and over in interviews about this movie, because she was talking about an intimacy coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
and how that was helpful, because some filmmakers don't want intimacy coordinators on their movies.
Right.
But she said she was grateful for it. She said Robert Pattinson was a gentleman, and she said she has been in other situations where in movies, because there's sex involved, she didn't name names, but she knew of instances where, the men thought that meant they had free reign with their actress at 6:00, when the cameras shut down and they retired to their trailers. So, yeah, I mentioned that because I guess it's a big selling point for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is Peter. Is it Hujar? Hujar?
Peter Hujar. Yeah.
Hujar's Day.
Peter
Okay.
Hujar's Day. Peter Hujar is a real person. He's
Okay.
a photographer. And yeah, this is a kind of a biographical drama of sorts. And I say of sorts because it's really only, like the title says, Peter Hujar's Day. It depicts one day in the life of this real life photographer, Peter Hujar, who was an American photographer, best known for his black and white portraits, and who died of AIDS in 1988. It's set during the 70s, and the quote unquote drama, the so-called drama, because everything about this film is so inert and summarily unimpactful. It centers around this photographer, Peter Hujar, being interviewed by his friend Linda, played by Rebecca Hall, presumably for a personality piece his friend was, going to write about him, but never did. And the movie is 76 minutes. 76 minutes. Without credits, it's about an hour and 10 minutes of mundane nothingness, which I guess we're all supposed to relate to in some way, but I doubt audiences will. I didn't, and I'm a fan of this director, Ira Sachs's work. This movie, I'm watching this movie. I saw it in LA last week, and I'm watching this movie and I'm going, who are these people this Peter Hujar is talking about? What what is he talking about? And really, why should I care? I barely knew who these people were that Peter Hujar, admittedly very well played by Ben Whishaw, was referencing. Uh, his telling of his day, of the title, it's nothing but bits of inconsequential minutia. There's absolutely no story here, and by extension, there's no point, in my opinion, to the film either. The writer-director Ira Sachs, whose work I'm a big fan of, says that he said that the film is about what it's like to be an artist among artists in a city where no one was making any money in the 70s, and that would have been New York. Okay. I read somewhere where this concept of this movie was originally conceived as a short film, which makes total sense because this movie, despite its meager 76-minute runtime, you'd think it'd feel like, oh, the movie's over already. Yeah. This movie felt like 4 hours, and I am not exaggerating. Every frame seemed like a form of life imprisonment without parole. I mean, who knows? And I want to know who's the audience for this movie. Maybe a handful of like disenchanted or disenfranchised artists, maybe, but certainly not for any kind of general or even boutique audience. So I say, really, I mean, it pains me to say this, Ira Sachs, because I'm a fan of his work. I've interviewed him many times. I hope he doesn't ever hear this, but I don't know what he was thinking when he made this movie.
I guess that's a skip it, huh?
It is a skip it with a capital S and a capital I, or all caps.
Oh no, not the dreaded all caps.
The dreaded all caps, yeah. Oh. Yeah, no, really, it's just honestly, I can't describe what it was like watching this movie, because it wasn't even a movie. It was like two people in a room, and occasionally they'd go out on the terrace, but they were in a room and they were talking about things like, who are these people? I think there were one or two references of other artists that I had heard of, but I just threw up my hands.
Maybe it was supposed to be artsy, Tim.
Maybe, but I think it doesn't even succeed on that level, because it's like artsy to me, at least, is like interesting, should be interesting. This was like
not.
No, really, in a way, I feel like it would be something really interesting, like if you had like a watch party at your house and you wanted to like show friends, like, hey, I'm going to show you something. It's not long, so don't worry. You know, if you're like you lose interest, but I want to show you this, and then I want to know what your takeaway is. And I think people would like just be like staring. I don't know. That was my reaction to Peter Hujar's day.
The next movie, the name of this next movie sounds like the working title that never. Oops, is this it? Yeah, it's called Sentimental Value.
Yeah, I think the Sentimental Value title is probably something the American distributor slapped on it. I don't know what the Norwegian title is. Yeah, that's like a goofy title, but it kind of describes this movie, and this is a good one. It's directed by Norwegian filmmaker Joachim Trier, and it's spoken in both Norwegian with English subtitles, but also in English. It stars Stellan Skarsgård. He's not even in that. No, the daughters are in that photo. Anyway, he plays a once influential movie director who hasn't made a film in 15 years, and in his personal life, he's been an absent father. So it's also about his efforts to reconcile with his two estranged daughters, which he hopes to accomplish by making a personal film about their family history. And he wants one of the daughters to star in it, which I don't know about that. I don't know what a psychiatrist would say about that. But anyway, so this movie is about what this movie is about fundamentally is about mending and healing deeply fractured familiar relationships, which make for some good movie storytelling drama, as they do here. The Scandinavian background and the language might be an initial obstacle for many viewers, but they do speak English in this movie too. And I found out that English is a language nearly as common as Norwegian is spoken in that country. But if you can get past that, I think there's something here. Well, obviously, there's something here for everybody. Certainly all families can relate to in terms of the kinds of pain and hurt parents and children can inflict upon each other. Feelings of neglect and lack of love and focusing of career in place of just being there for your kids. All that stuff is universally relatable. And this is a film filled with character and story relatability of that kind. And it's a story about the healing of that kind of emotional trauma. So you get a very satisfying payoff at movie's end. So yeah, very good movie, an emotionally effective movie with nuanced characterizations and scripting. And at the end of the day, a highly recommendable one. So
Oh,
that,
highly recommended. Okay.
yeah, Sentimental Value.
I don't mind the subtitles. I watched a series. It was a weird series about this woman who was supposed to find a date for Christmas dinner, and it was a Norwegian like series that was on Netflix. They have a lot of Norwegian things on Netflix, it turns
Yeah, they
out.
do, don't they? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I didn't mind it at all. You kind of get into it and you forget that you're watching something in a different language and you just start reading everything. It's so fine.
Yeah, actually that's a testament to the movie. If you
Yeah.
forgot you were reading subtitles,
Mhm.
what was the name of the series? You remember?
I forget. I'll have to look it up and tell you next time because
Okay,
it's
okay,
really good for this time of year and it's very funny and I really enjoyed it. So
cool,
I'll look it
cool.
up.
Okay,
The next movie you have is called Dead Man's Wire.
yes, this is also based on a true story,
Mhm.
and it's also based on this 2018 documentary called Dead Man's Line. And how would I describe? This is it's a serious movie, but it's also a black comedy crime film
Hmm.
about, again, this is why I like watching movies so much. Is I get to visit worlds that normally, first of all, some that I never knew existed, and ones that do exist that I would never enter otherwise. But this is about this 1977 kidnapping of this mortgage broker. His name was Richard Hall, by this guy named Tony Kiritsis. That's him in the picture. He's played by Bill Skarsgård, who's actually Stellan Skarsgård's son, who was starred in the movie we just talked about. But
Okay.
anyway, it's about the kidnapping of this mortgage broker, Richard Hall, by this guy named Tony Kiritsis in Indianapolis, Indiana, in 1977, when the latter, Tony Kiritsis, the kidnapper, who had fallen behind on his mortgage payments for a piece of real estate that he owned, claimed that Hall, the mortgage broker, was trying to swindle him. So in one day, February 1977, he went into Hall's office, the mortgage broker's office, and wired the muzzle of a 12-gauge Winchester 1400 sawed-off shotgun to the back of this guy's head.
Oh God.
Now the wire was also connected to the trigger, and the other end was connected to Hall's neck, hence the title of this movie. This dead man's wire meant that if a policeman shot at Kiritsis, the kidnapper, holding Hall hostage in this way, the shotgun would go off and shoot Hall in the head.
Wow.
And the same would happen if Hall tried to escape, the guy that was being held hostage. So this is a movie that is rife with tension,
Yeah.
as well as suspense and knowing just exactly how all of this is going to play out. I didn't know because I hadn't seen the documentary and I didn't know how it was going to turn out. But it is a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting story. It's an interesting blending of comedy and dramatic tonalities, and very, very entertaining. It's kind of like you're on the edge of edge of your seat. It's directed by Gus Van Sant, the director's first film in 7 years. And again, it stars Bill Skarsgård. He's in the photo there. He plays the kidnapper. And yeah, he's very good. And the movie's very good. And just for entertainment value, this is one people can go to and just enjoy as a really good piece of entertainment, and also a pretty accurate depiction of what actually happened one day in Indianapolis, Indiana, in 1977. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's in theaters?
In theaters. All the movies we talked about this week are now playing in theaters. Yeah.
We had some people trying to guess what your classic movie recommendation of the week would be?
What did they say? They're never going to guess.
I think I have to scroll back, but I think there was someone said, is it going to be Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? Is that a movie?
That's actually a song
A
from a movie
song from a
called
movie?
Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Yes.
Yeah, there were some people guessing, but they definitely didn't get it right. But my point in telling you this
Yeah.
is that people are wanting to know. They're clamoring.
Oh, they're
For
engaged. I love it.
They're engaged. They
Yeah.
want to know. So your classic movie rec of the week is How Green Was My Valley.
Yeah, from 1941.
Wow, that is a classic.
That is a classic. It's director John Ford's classic black and white family drama, which, it's this movie is emotionally majestic and spiritually moving, and one of the director's undisputed masterpieces, and a movie which neither fades or fails or lessens after you watch it over and over and over again, which I have over the years watched this beautiful movie. It's the story of hardworking South Wales miners and their families, as seen through the eyes of this young boy. His name is Hugh. He's played by a very young Roddy McDowall, and he plays the youngest of 6 children in a family headed by this stern father, played by Douglas Crisp, and a very loving mother, played by Irish actress Sarah Allgood. And the story is set at the turn of the century and told in flashback. And the film's visuals are so stunning and so beautiful. They show this like unspoiled valley that's full of love and full of warmth, wherein the trials and the hardships of the community are told through this series of deeply moving vignettes. That's Walter Pidgeon in the photo with young Roddy McDowall. Everything about this film is touching. John Ford's direction, which won him his 3rd Academy Award for directing, he would go on to win 4, it slowly builds one simple scene upon another scene with very little plot, but whose cumulative emotional power is literally overwhelming. I hope I'm not overselling this movie or overhyping it, because every time I watch this movie, if I want to say to folks listening, if you really want a good cry, and by that I mean a satisfying cry that is not manipulative, it's not one that's very organic and that rises from this story that's being told, this is the movie for you. The score by Alfred Newman, which features these incredibly noble and beautiful Welsh male voices, it's soul stirring. I don't know how to say it, but if you've never seen this film, I would say proceed without caution and check it out immediately on Prime Video. You'll be glad that you did, and you'll thank me for it. Trust me.
Prime Video. Okay, so
It's
easy to get a hold of.
Very easy to get a hold of, and it's so beautiful. Just the opening credits, you're already there in this world. It's just beautiful. Beautiful
looking
movie.
for this movie, I'm seeing some in black, most in black and white, but there are a few color pictures. Was it recolored or redone later on?
Oh God, I hope not. I really color. I don't know what those color pictures are. Sometimes, no, actually, no. There were these things called lobby cards, which theater owners would put in their display cases or in the doors when you came in. They were like, I don't know what size they were, 18 by 12 by 18 or whatever. And they were scenes from the movie. And sometimes, and I remember this as a kid, a black and white movie would sometimes have colorized scenes, but I don't know why they did that. So in answer to your question, it's a long rambling answer to your question. No, they're just colorized. The whole movie is in stunning black and white. And for people to say, oh, I don't like black and white movies, this movie is gorgeous. And it really, it boasts how under the right hands and under the right cameraman, the right director of photography, black and white photography is an art. It's in some ways more effective, depending upon the story you want to tell, more effective than color cinematography. And in this case, this movie could have only been shot in black and white, and it's still beautiful, gorgeous. Yeah, great movie. How Green Was My Valley.
So
Great, great movie.
Maureen O'Hara stars in this movie. Was this
Uh,
around the same time as Gone with the Wind, or what
it
in
was
her?
1941. I think she was like 19 when she.
Okay.
No, no, wait. She was 18 or 19 when she did The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was 1939. So she would have been about 20 or 21. And Maureen O'Hara she's one of the most beautiful, naturally beautiful women that has ever graced the movie screen. And her acting in this is great. She looks so beautiful. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question.
No,
I,
that's okay.
I have goosebumps when I talk about this
Oh, yeah. I
movie.
love you're passionate about this movie. How
Yeah.
Green Is My Valley from
Yeah.
1941. All right, Tim, we're going to re-rack it. We're going to do the
All
Tim
right.
Sika recap. Here it
All right.
is. Nuremberg, you said this movie is a perfectly good retelling of this story. Top of the line performances, solid craftsmanship. But as far as the movie versus the book, you found the movie unnecessarily corny in some spots, still a relevant message for our time. You think that lovers of history and politics will love this movie. You said Judgment at Nuremberg was better, but you recommend Nuremberg.
Yes.
As for Die My Love, there's some disturbing parts of this movie. You said it might not be for everyone. There is the unsettling message about pain and suffering and postpartum psychosis. There's a warning about violence against animals. So you had some reservations about this movie, but you said the script is good, the direction is solid, it's a good movie, but not necessarily a happy movie. So proceed with it that way. As for Peter Hujar's day, this is a big skip it with a capital S, you said. It's about one day in the life of a photographer, and you said it's 76 minutes of mundane nothingness, no story, no point to this movie, way too long, even though it's a short movie. You said don't even bother with Peter Hujar's day.
Yeah.
Sentimental Value. You said this movie, if you can get past the language difference, which I think I can, that there's something to relate to here. Family, career, lack of love, neglect, healing. It's relatability, and there's a good payoff at the end of this. You highly recommend this movie called Sentimental Value. As for Dead Man's Wire, ooh, you got me wanting to go see this movie. You said it's tension and suspense and an interesting story and a blend of drama and comedy, and it keeps you right on the edge of your seat the whole time. That's my kind of movie, Tim. You said this is very good. It's an accurate telling of the event, which happened in real life, apparently. You
Yeah.
recommend Dead Man's Wire. And as for your classic movie Wreck of the Week, you can't recommend enough How Green Was My Valley from 1941. You said it's emotionally majestic, spiritually moving. This movie doesn't fade after you watch it. We all have to watch it this weekend. How Green Was My Valley. That's on the list. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent recap, Kim McAllister. Yay!
Thank you,
Yay!
Tim. You brought us so much. We've got some comments to look at.
Okay.
Heather agrees with you. She says it doesn't really bother me when people croak in the movies, but if something happens to an animal, I'm done for. She says, no kidding.
Really, seriously, Heather, I'm there with you. I can't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't that? What does that say about us? That we'd rather see people die than animals?
I know. Eileen makes the comment she was pregnant when she made this film, and I think she might be talking about
Maureen O'Hara.
No, I think.
Oh, no. Jennifer Lawrence. Yes,
Jennifer Lawrence.
actually, she's correct. I think I read somewhere she was 4 months pregnant when she made it. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Because that would have been really hard to go through that, not knowing if at the end of your pregnancy you were going to go through some type of postpartum depression, and then thinking about it kind of gets in your head, and
you know what's interesting about that too, and I remember some of the scenes and some of the sex scenes and just some of the physical stuff that she had to do. I'm in retrospect, I'm wondering, God, did she put herself in harm's way? Because there's a lot of physical stuff she's doing in this movie, and being 4 months pregnant. I don't know. That's interesting. Anyway.
We have Yvonne who's saying, I remember Maureen O'Hara in a John Wayne movie. I was a big fan of his. Good movie. I think it was The Irishman. We don't know.
They made a couple movies together. The one I like the best is a movie called McClintock,
Oh.
which is kind of like a Western comedy. Yeah,
Mhm.
they were, and Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne were like the best of pals in real life. They carried on a lifelong friendship that lasted until his death. Yeah.
Mhm. Eileen wants you to know we really enjoyed last week's rec of House of Dynamite. Very
Oh,
much on the edge of your seat film. And
yeah.
Eileen appreciated that movie recommendation from you.
Great, 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 great.
And I wanted to give you one last one. Nullifidian saw a good courtroom drama last night called Trial and Error with Michael
Hmm.
Richards and Jeff Daniels. I haven't heard of that movie.
Have not seen it either, but
Okay.
I'm going to make a note of it now. Thank you.
Yeah, and Zero Sum is going to try to watch a few of the movies that you recommended. So there you go.
Great. There we go.
Yay!
Yay.
At
Okay,
the
Kim
movies with
McAllister.
Tim Sika. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, and thank you for the great job you always do for us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thanks, Kim. Looking forward to talking to you next week.
At the movies with Tim Sika. Bye bye, Tim.
Bye, Kim.
And there